everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Riley, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the Chiappa M9. Now, if you are watching this video, you probably have already seen the footage of me shooting this pistol, and I just want to thank you for watching this video in advance. And now we're just going to kind of do a tabletop review discussion about this pistol. And I'm going to talk to you about the things I like about it and dislike about it. And I'm going to try to keep this around 5 minutes so this review isn't too long. So like you guys already know by the title, this is the Chiappa M9, chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson. This pistol is also available in 9mm. So pretty much anything I mean, if you want to watch this review, there's not much differences between this version and the 9mm version, obviously, other than the caliber. So let's just go off of a couple things that I noticed right off the bat when I purchased this pistol. Now, this is actually one of my own pistols. This is not one that I borrowed to review. This is one of my own for my own safe. So one of the things I noticed straight off the bat is that this pistol does look very similar, almost like an actual clone, of the Beretta M9. And, that's a good thing. The M9 is a proven pistol. It, functions great. Lots of different, armies and militaries and etc. have used the M9 as a pistol, as their preferred pistol. And that says a lot about a gun when militaries and police forces use it as their main carry pistol. So now, basically, I wanted to figure out, is this as good as the Beretta M9? And I don't actually own one, but I had one that I was borrowing from someone, and I was able to do side-by-side comparisons to see really how this stacked up against, the Beretta M9. And one thing I noticed, one thing I just want to talk about real quick is that when you have a firearm as successful as the M9, there's lots of clones that follow it. The same thing happened with the CZ75. CZ75 came out, and lots of people started making clones that were a lot cheaper. Same thing happened with the Glock, 17, Glock 19. There's lots of companies that came out with similar guns, which you can even call clones, that are very similar to the original gun, but they're obviously a lot cheaper. Now, one thing that I noticed when I picked up this clone, if you will, or the Chiappa M9, one thing I noticed right away is that it just feels very solid in the hand. Here, let me switch because I'm not left-handed. This gun feels very solid in the hand. When I hold it, it feels hefty, it's heavy, and honestly, the weight, it feels just like a regular Beretta M9, and that was one big plus in my book. I didn't want to get a gun that felt cheap, so this gun just feels very, very hefty, very nice in the hand, so that was a big plus. Number two, the thing that I noticed, right away, is that this gun did come with 2 Mec-Gar magazines. Now, for those of you that don't know, Mec-Gar only makes magazines, and they make high-quality magazines. So this came with 2 10-round Mec-Gar magazines. And let me just safety check the gun because a lot of people freak out if you don't do that on the video. As you can see, it's empty. Okay, so like I was saying, this comes with 2 10-round Mec-Gar magazines. Now remember, this is chambered in .40 Smith & Wesson. So if you purchase this pistol in 9mm, obviously the magazines would hold more ammo. And we're just getting into this review, and we're already going over 5 minutes. So I'm going to try to keep it under 10 minutes. So I'm not going to try to talk a lot more. I want to keep this kind of quick. So 2 10-round magazines for a budget clone pistol, if you will. That's a very good deal. Usually they only come with one magazine, and then you have to purchase another one. So I thought that was awesome. Number 3, let me just put this back in here. The finish of the gun. I don't know if you can tell because the light is not too good where I am, even though I am filming in 4K, but the finish of the gun is very nice, very smooth, very resembles the, the Beretta M9. It just looks very nice. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. And you obviously, the benefit of buying a clone pistol versus the original, it's going to be a lot cheaper, $200 to $300 cheaper sometimes. So if you get a gun that looks the same, feels the same, shoots the same, then you really want to think to yourself, well, is it really worth spending that extra $300 on the original pistol? That's just one point to bring up. So other than that, let's just talk about the trigger. Obviously, most people that are familiar with the M9 know that you can fire it like this by just pulling the trigger, which is a heavier trigger pull, more like a revolver. Or like a revolver, you can just cock it back, and the trigger pull is super easy. Very light, very easy to shoot. So you obviously have those two different types of trigger pulls, and the trigger on this pistol honestly is very nice. I don't have the exact poundage right now, but the trigger just feels super nice. I mean, you could shoot that all day, and it feels super good. So the next point I wanted to talk about is obviously you have a safety up here on the top. So when this safety is engaged, right here where my thumb is, you cannot shoot the gun. So if you just pull it down, it just makes the gun unable to shoot. That's the main safety on this gun. And I believe this M9 has a 4.33 inch barrel, which is a fairly large barrel for a handgun, thus qualifying this as a full-size handgun. But other than that, it's an amazing gun. I really like it. I really like the grip. Let me see if I can kind of get in closer and show you the grip. Obviously it resembles the Beretta M9. The grip texture is really nice, and I just think it's very well made for the price. Now, on average, I've seen this pistol run for around $300, which is obviously much cheaper than a regular Beretta M9. And I think the 9mm version runs for $360 to $370. But I just opted for the 40 because I have a lot of pistol caliber carbines chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson, and I have a lot of that ammo, so I might as well just, I might as well use that. So like I was saying, if you want a 40 or a 9, it's all up to you, whatever is more comfortable with you. Obviously if this is your first gun, you might want to go with the 9mm because it kicks a little less. But the main thing is if this is your first gun, you want a gun that's comfortable to shoot, a gun that's reliable, and a gun that that you'll like for a long time, that you won't get tired of, and a gun that you can continually train with, and eventually. I mean, you can definitely conceal carry this pistol. It's just I'm not a big fan of doing concealed carry with full-size pistols. But if you can do it, and maybe if you live in a colder state where you can carry, outside the waistband and just wear a jacket over it, then that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly, okay. So, just for this review, I think it's definitely a good gun. For $300, you can't get, a better feeling gun in the hand, a more reliable and accurate gun. So it's it's just awesome. One more thing I want to talk about is I love the grips. Let me see if these grips right here, these finger grooves, they feel so good in the hand. They make the grip just feel so much more natural. Now, like I was saying, the 9mm version is like $60 to $70 more than the 40 version, and that's just because, you know, 9mm is more expensive. The 9mm firearms are more expensive than 40 because a lot of people have been arguing that 40 Smith & Wesson is kind of dying down. Therefore, people are selling 40 guns chambered in 40 a little cheaper. But I just decided to go with the 40. You know, I have a Glock 22. I love it. I think 40 is a great caliber, and I don't think it's dying down. So, ammo. So other than that, the gun feels amazing in the hand. You know, it's a full-size handgun, so it is kind of a bigger pistol, you know. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend this for a concealed carry unless you can work it, but to be honest, for me it's too big of a concealed carry gun. The only thing that I had to get used to was, I'm going to scoot this back a bit. When you rack the slide, you kind of have to reach forward in front of the safety and grab the slide and then pull it back. I just am not used to having a safety right here. So, you know, it kind of gets in the way, you know, whereas a Glock, you know, you don't have to worry about that or something. But that's the only thing that's kind of weird about it. I have to reach in front of the safety to grab the slide, to rack the slide. But other than that, I mean, for $300, you're getting a gun that looks very similar to the Beretta M9, feels like a Beretta M9, shoots like a Beretta M9. It just doesn't have the price tag of a Beretta M9, you know. So, in my book, this gun is worth it. It's worth, you know, maybe I would definitely recommend this as a first gun. Maybe get it in 9mm. You know, the choice is up to you if you like 9mm or 40 better, whatever. So, thanks for watching my video, and please give me a thumbs up on this video. Please consider subscribing to my channel, as I do release new videos every week, and I do strive to make the videos a little better than they were last week and the week before. And I want to thank you for all my support on this channel. I've finally, you know, my channel is finally starting to grow a little bit, so I do appreciate all the views and subscribers that I'm getting, and I'll see you next week.